Recording live from somewhere is the Tissue and the Tape podcast featuring Davis backwards and who state your name again?
Filmatic 365, aka fuck them dudes, man.
That's right. We got a special guest in the building. Phil, introduce our guest, man. What's up?
Yo, man, it's always great to break bread with the family, man. So we got the elder statesman of the Brothers of the Watch. We got
the greatest Game of Thrones mind that we know.
Already, you know, he is the lead watchman, if you will. And I mean, he's Jon Snow's personal confidant on all things Westeros. We got our main man Hank in the building with us tonight. What's going on?
What's going on, fellas? I appreciate the invite, man. I'm a fan of the show. Get to sit back and actually be a part of it. So I'm loving this, man. But you know, it's your boy Hank, aka Billy Page, aka the illest rapper alive. You know,
yes.
Top 5 that are alive. You know.
But for those that don't know, man, you have to check out Hank's. Man, I don't even know his videos, his work that he's done. He's got some pretty funny material. Just tell us a little bit about Imaginary Players and some of the things that you've done over the past year or so.
Yeah. So Imaginary Players really started out as an early online radio show that I did with 2 of my best friends, actually my cousin and one of my best friends. And then from there, I just kind of took that, and one of the things that caught on with the show was doing like parody videos. So one of the like most famous ones that I did was a song called "Dear Mama," the LeBron James song. So this was during the time where, you know, LeBron had that little incident where he kind of stopped playing as hard as he could during the Boston Celtics series. And then all the rumors were floating around. We're gonna call them rumors. That Delonte West was, you know, having relations with his mother. So made a song, a parody of Tupac's "Dear Mama." Then from there, just really started to do a lot of songs. And now, really, I've been doing songs kind of focused more on television. Really, whatever pops up in my mind, to tell you the truth. But I like to call it like almost like karaoke. That's what I'm going with right now. I'm the karaoke.
That's fire, yo.
You might have to trademark that.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. I already own it on Facebook and Twitter and all that. Don't worry about that. Don't try to steal it. but yeah. So you know, just having fun gives me a chance to make some music and do some creative stuff and also get these jokes off. So.
Yeah. Now, do you have a music background? I know Judici does, right? He's like a music teacher or something.
Yeah, he's a music teacher. You know, funny, we actually met. We went to school together, and we were both in like choir and stuff like that. So, you know, even though, you know, I'm the realest alive, you know, I also did. I also used to do choir and musical theater and all that sort of stuff.
No, we know about y'all dudes. We know how y'all dudes get down. So yeah.
Choir boys are not choir boys. Is what
Nah, exactly. So yeah, right. So definitely used to do that. You know, definitely I can't hold a note like my man Judici. Shout out to Judici. So, you know, I got to bring him in when I need to hit the notes. But always have had a love for music, and especially, you know, hip hop. So you know, that's why Tissue and the Tape. I'm glad to be here.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and to formally introduce you to our audience, for people that are listening to you speak and, you know, just getting familiar with you. We're gonna hit you with an impromptu tit for tat.
Okay.
And what tit for tat is, we're just gonna throw a couple selections at you. You either pick this one or you pick that one.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna start off with the classic DJ Premier.
Okay.
Or Pete Rock. Gotta pick one.
I'm gonna go Premier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Midnight Marauders or the Low End Theory?
Low End Theory.
Chick-fil-A or Chipotle?
Chick-fil-A. Just had Chick-fil-A today. Live right down the street from me. Chick-fil-A.
Okay. ACC basketball or SEC football?
ACC basketball. I'm a Maryland, you know, alumni. So we used to be, when I was there, we were ACC. I grew up loving North Carolina. It's always been F Duke, you know, ACC basketball.
That's crazy, man.
Say it again, Hank. I didn't quite get that. I didn't
It's
quite
always been F Duke.
It's never been that, man. You're lying. All right, Ether and Takeover.
I'm gonna go Takeover.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim, you heard him.
We talked about the song. I'm gonna go Takeover.
Yeah, we got a couple more.
Yeah.
Man, Jordan 3s or Jordan 11s?
I'm gonna go 11s.
Okay. And last thing, Friday nights or Sunday evenings?
I'm gonna go Sunday evening because that's usually my Game of Thrones time. So
that's right.
Sunday evening.
All right, there we go, man. Welcome everybody. This is Tissue and the Tape again. We are recording. We have a special. He's a guest, but he's also going to be a co-host. We're going to be talking about various topics today. Phil.
Yes, sir.
Let's start it out, man, with the most beautifulest thing that we saw all week. On this show, of course, everything is hip hop. We're doing hip hop conservation through conversation.
Always.
We love to talk about hip hop royalty, and we esteem only a few people in this high hallowed ground. And one of the people that we're about to talk about now, man, it's so great to see her happy. I feel like I'm a part of her family whenever I hear her voice on these Maybelline commercials, Pizza Hut. MC Lyte got married, man. It's a little bit of a heartbreaker because, you know, she's been in our lives for 30 years, but to just see her pictures and just to see how happy she was, Phil, how did you feel, man?
I mean, I had to kick this one here for me and my DJ, man. I mean, I was man. You know, we have a special affinity for the MC Lyte, man, since first seeing it in the Paper Thin video, you know, where it go from black and white to color. I mean, she got the fresh Jetta and she want to get on the train. Yo, anybody that turned down the whip to get on the train was all right with me, man. I mean, but all the way through to her later on, her career after music, doing so much voiceover work. Now she's on Queen of the South, which is, when I saw that, you know, almost number 3 myself because I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? So I was quite excited, and she playing a badass. So man, definitely big ups to MC Lyte. She joined the ring squad, man. You know, she like with Kate. I was about to say Kevin Garnett when he first got the championship.
Oh yeah.
Anything is possible.
Now Hank, she's 46.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously she's a little bit older than us and a little bit older in her journey in getting married. How young were you when you got married?
I was 5 years ago, so I was 28.
Okay. Okay. But you can relate to that. Like Wade said, like when it's ready, like when you're ready, you're ready. Sometimes people's 46, sometimes it's 28.
And like Phil was saying, she really is kind of having a resurgence too. And I mean, I guess there was a moment where she was kind of quiet, but she's been kind of consistent as far as the female MCs where, you know, she hasn't been a super duper star, but she's always been relevant.
Yeah, no, for sure. The voiceover work that she does, I mean, I have to catch myself sometimes because I'm like, man, is that her? Like,
I know that voice.
Yeah, so I mean, shout to her agent and just shout to her for not turning that down because I mean she definitely does have a voice that's made for that type of stuff. So
she's been doing the BET Jones for years now.
Yeah, the DJ at the award show.
Yeah, but no, man, she she was just extremely happy. It was just great to see that at a time where we're seeing a lot of the hip hop dads drop their sons off to school. For college and all those things, it's cool to see, the ladies, just find their happiness. I know sometimes in this industry, as far as music, guys get intimidated or it may be tough for them to find a real, relationship and real love sometimes. So, man, it was just great to just see that. on a week that was so crazy and chaotic. You know, it's just good to see stuff like that, man. So big shout to her. Speaking of chaotic, before we get into the rest of the show, we would be remiss not to just let one thing be known. I watched the leak of episode 6 of Game of Thrones, each watch. Phil, did you watch the leak? Did you watch the leak?
I did. I did not see it, but I know everything that happened, and I'm good with that because that doesn't bother me. Like spoilers, like some people like lose their shit and their feelings are hurt if they get a spoiler. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Like I was the dude. Like if I knew what I got for Christmas, I wasn't hurt.
All right, so that sets us up for this question. Hank, how do you feel about people that watch the leak before it actually drops on HBO?
So I don't blame people. I don't judge people for watching it. But for me, half the fun now of Game of Thrones has been really like participating in social media, you know, Twitter, and especially, you know, our Facebook group. Shout out to WRS Game of Thrones, and kind of experiencing it with other people. So I don't really like watching Game of Thrones by myself on my computer right now. Like I want to watch it with the community. I kind of got spoiled on everything too, but I'm like you, Phil. I mean, I know I'm still going to enjoy it no matter what. But let's not talk about it anymore. I don't want to be spoiled just in case I missed something else.
Yo, my homie hit me. He might have hit me like 10 times yesterday. Like, yo, please watch it when you get home. I'm like, man, I don't know. It's like, yo, I need somebody to talk to it about it. Please, I gotta talk to somebody about it.
That's how the chant was. The chant was like, yo, did you?
Like, no, I didn't watch it. No. But
first, and then we was like, yo, fuck it, just tell us what happened. and then he told us, and then she watched it. And then so now I was like, I might watch it after we're done, but you know, it is what it is. I'm like I said, I'm still going to enjoy it. I was going to pretend like I ain't see it, but like, yo, it's about to go down.
What do you think about these leaks? Like 50 recently is now taking credit for leaking whatever's going on with Power and these episodes leaking, and you know he
shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know if that's too smart, but you know he's always someone that's trying to, you know, rouse something up. What do you think about HBO? I mean, they got hacked, but do you think this is real? Like somebody trying to sabotage them? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think they would be letting these go for free. There's really no more promo you can do for Game of Thrones. Like, it's not going to get people more into Game of Thrones by releasing episode 6 of season 7. Like, either you're there, or if you're there at this point, you're going to watch that episode no matter what.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Yeah, somebody's hacking them. And really, I think it's a testament to how good the show is, because, you know, people aren't hacking, you know, the leftovers. Like, it's all about Game of Thrones and how much people want to get these. And Power is similar. Power, you know, I don't think it's been good recently, but people are obsessed with Power and getting it as early as possible.
Have they jumped the shark on Power yet? What do you fellas think? Phil, what do you think?
Yo, they jumped the shark on Power. I'm not spoiling nothing, because if you ain't seen this part by now, then fuck it. Like when Kanan got set on fire and he didn't die, it was like, yo, they went to La La Land after that, you know.
Yeah.
So they think they're gonna get an Oscar, but they are not. But no, it's just wild though, man. They just, like, it's so many plot holes, and it's like so. It's really, and every time I see it, I'll be waiting for Erica Kane to come out, you know, like All My Children style, because it's just all soap opera now.
Do you think one of my theories about it is, I think at least for the first 2 seasons, the writing was very well. They produced it very well, and then they attracted, you know, some newcomers as far as people not necessarily knowing about it or that heard about it and then started to watch it. Do you think they pulled a Lupe fiasco and dumbed it down, Hank? Audience? Yeah,
I think so. And I just don't know. I agree with Phil. Keenan should never be. He shouldn't have got back up out of that fire. Like, but I think part of having an executive producer that's also on the show, you know, 50 wasn't going to let himself die when the show was at high.
And especially him. You know, like this is certain guys like him, Diddy. It's just certain guys. It's like you already know, like if they're involved with it, they're trying to see it through.
Yeah, they got to be dancing all up in the videos. But no, I one of the biggest things though, and when we learned this from Transformers, the cartoon movie. Great, you have to not be afraid to let one of the main characters take a L, yo. You, like to perish.
That's what makes Thrones so great, right? Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
So when you see like some of the, you know, for them two people in the world, shout out to Roy from Joint FT who watched Game of Thrones but aren't caught up. You know, when people catch L's in like main characters, it lets you know that it's not based around that main character. It's based around the writing. Yeah. It's based, you know, you're not relying on star powers. If you can take out your star, you know, shout out to the Scary Movie and I mean, well, not Scary Movie, but Scream, you know, where they killed Drew Barrymore in the first credit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And nobody was ready for that at the time.
They didn't have her paper right though. They only signed up for 5 minutes of her, so.
They got out quick. But one thing I did want to say about Game of Thrones and the power leaks, there's levels, yo. I definitely think power was like a publicity stunt to try to downplay some of the negative talk about the plots and all that. Yeah. But with Game of Thrones, I think they realized, yo, they're attempting to hack us. We have to put this out because the quality of like the little snippet that I did see, the quality was super good, which leads me to believe that HBO might have put it out there just to keep it from being the integrity being, you know, tarnished. Because if somebody hacked it, they might not get it at the highest quality. And if somebody sees it and not its highest quality, that's the only thing that can really hurt Game of Thrones. It's like when I saw X-Men, when I saw the first Wolverine movie, you know, and I saw it, you know, I got the bootleg joint, and it was like the CGI wasn't filled all the way in, so you had some green screen in there, you know. Man. So it was yo, I had the prototype, like literally, it was before the movie actually came out, and I had you know, so it was just one of so I think they were like looking at it like, yo, we can't have them see a dragon, you know, that's like not what they're used to seeing. So I think they might have just let that one go because it's not going to hurt them. It's not like they selling advertising. Yeah. You know, they already got their money.
Well, and I mean, that's kind of one part of the reason why I didn't want to watch the bootlegs is because I want to see it on my, you know, TV with my HD, my 4K, like, especially for what this episode is supposed to be. Like, this is a big time battle type of episode. So, no, I don't want the bootleg of that.
It's a 10K episode, yo. So.
No doubt. So at this time of the show, we normally just give a shout out to 4 women. Our ladies are always doing things out in the community, out in various industries, particularly entertainment, sciences, you know, just overall. So of course, if anybody wants to nominate someone that we should talk about during the show, please let us know. But in the meantime, we got 4 ladies we're about to talk about right now. Yeah, first one, I want to give a shout out to Shonda Rhimes. She's not someone that's new on the scene, but she's someone that's definitely, of course, blazed a lot of trails for Black writers, showrunners, and you know, Netflix is currently in a battle for survival. Really, I mean, to really stamp their mark over the next 10 years. They acquired her. You know, they essentially took her from ABC, from Disney, and you know, she's gonna be able to take a lot of her content and take it to the next level just based off of the fact that she won't be on network TV. Hank, my question for you is, did you watch any of her shows? How to Get Away with Murder, Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, any of those?
So normally her shows are kind of similar to Power for me too, where they start off really strong. Mm-hmm. So I watched like the first couple episodes of Grey's, watched like the first 3 or 4, I've said episodes, first couple seasons of Grey's, first 3 or 4 seasons of Scandal. But then they kind of jumped the shark for me as well with those. But yeah, I mean, that's a great pickup for her. Did they announce how much she got? What was the bag?
It's still under. Man, I've been waiting to hear that number, man. I mean, it has to be like
they had to take out a big ass loan to afford her.
They did.
They took out like a $50 million. It was something stupid. Like
they had their shareholders going crazy all week,
man.
Yeah,
it might have been $500 million. It was a big ass loan.
Like they've had the craziest week, and that was the kind of like the cherry on top. They were like, "Hey, we got some great news. We can't tell y'all yet." And then when they let that go, it was like, "Whoa, okay." Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, she's been doing her thing. She has a book out currently, giving people a lot of game. But I just wanted to give her a shout, just because for her to be in such high demand, that's really saying something, and I'm excited to see what she's gonna do.
I mean, I'm looking at the Huff Post article that we had for the show, and they said that her ABC shows have generated over $2 billion in revenue.
Man,
so I mean, to take her from ABC, that they had to give her the bag of bags.
That's like getting Tom Brady from the Patriots. So for real.
Right. Before the Super Bowl, like the day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like the day before the Super Bowl, we have to announce a trade. But I'm looking at this, and they said they're what Netflix borrowed is anywhere between 800 million and 1.1 billion.
Who they borrow that from?
I wonder how much of that is going to Buster Shonda. Yeah, that was them. That the wagons got through, yo. So they good money, yo. ABC was like bird and rubbing. You know what I mean? The wagons got through, yo. Shonda went away.
Yeah. Another lady that definitely would give a shout out to. It's been a kind of crazy week for her, honestly. Zazie Beetz. Anyone that's familiar with the great show Atlanta, which will be coming back for season 2 very soon, Donald Glover said, she is Vanessa that's on there. Nessa, she was the breakout star, other than the Keith Stanfield on there as well. But she's doing her thing. She's going to be Domino on Deadpool 2. For those that saw Deadpool, very funny Marvel
fire.
Just a good joint.
One of the best.
Definitely, like it's up there. She's just someone that's a rising star. We've seen her just make her way from that to this. So to join a franchise like that, it shows that there could possibly be some longevity to this, and she'll probably be in some of the cross referencing and all the things that they do. So, man, big shout to her. They did have a tragedy on the set. Her stunt double actually tragically passed away. Performing some of the stunts, so she posted something.
R.I.P.
Yeah, to kind of just give her some light and to send some condolences to their family. But all in all, she definitely is someone that's making their way. And there's just a lot of young Black ladies doing their thing in Hollywood. Hank, what do you think about that, man? I mean, just even Game of Thrones, Masandi. I mean,
yeah. Shout out to my man Grey Worm, man, with the scissors. But yeah, I'm a fan of Zazie.
Brutus Beefcake.
I'm a fan of Zazie. I'm glad to see her get this role. Like you said, I thought she really was. The whole Atlanta cast was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But she was able to carry those, because she had a couple kind of standalone episodes for herself where she was the main character. And she really did a good job with that. Excited to see her, a person of color, in the Deadpool movie. I've stayed away from the comments and stuff because I'm sure there's people that are going crazy, like, what? Domino's not supposed to be Black, and all that.
Right.
But I think she's a talented young lady. She's beautiful, and I think she'll do a great job with this.
Now, Phil, you're someone that's not a stranger to seeing different things as far as Confederate flags and statues and things of that nature.
Oh yeah.
What did you think when you heard about just the toppling of the statue, with the various statues, but one in particular?
Oh yeah, you know the one I was good old Frank Rizzo. The video, first of all, the video was amazing because boy was he had one job. He was gonna get his bars off. He didn't care what was going on. He finished his fresh vandalism, and I enjoyed every bit of it. Because for those that don't know, Frank Rizzo was the mayor of Philadelphia on multiple occasions, actually, in the 80s, and he was not a fan of people that look like me and my partners. So if you had any kind of color, he was not a fan of you. He emboldened the cops. He encouraged head cracking, and they did. He was the police chief when the move situation happened. Google it, kids. Basically, the police set off bombs in row homes, and then was surprised when those homes caught on fire. Those homes had kids in them.
Shout out to Osage Ave, man.
Yeah, so this is the person who had us, and he still ended up with a statue in the city. So that just goes to show you, how the city is divided, despite us not being anywhere near the South.
Now, Durham, North Carolina was the site of the protest that led to Takiyah Thompson, who's the third lady that we're going to talk about just briefly. She's being hailed as a hero. She definitely has been showered with support for actually just being like, enough is enough, and helping topple the Confederate statue down in Durham.
Did you see how that joint bit?
Yeah.
The video.
Yeah.
They made that joint out of Pepsi cans, like.
now she's only 22. She's a student at A&T. I'm sorry. She's at A&T. She's at Central, North Carolina Central. That's down there. But yeah, what do you think about her like actually facing felony charges about this? I mean, I think this should be this like a low budget form of reparations. If a black person toppling Confederate statue, he is granted amnesty. Like that. That's it. It's just thrown out. Yeah. What do you think, Nick?
No, I agree. I mean, I just don't understand where else can you lose the war and still get your statues and flags and people talk about it like it's tradition. Like, no, that's not what happened. Like when in ancient Egypt, when Napoleon came through, he blew all the black features off of the Sphinx and off of the pyramids because they won the war. That was their land now. Like, y'all tried to have an uprising, you tried to fight for your beliefs at one time. A war was fought, you lost. You shouldn't get to have statues and streets and highways and
high schools named after you.
Yeah, giant Confederate flags all over the place, man. That's not patriotic. And these guys claim to be, nationalists and the biggest patriots in the world, and they're frauds, man.
Yeah, they were traitors. Like that's the part that I don't like. Okay, they have their, your great granddaddy fought in the war, or whatever. They were traitors. Like, if somebody went and decided they wanted to go join ISIS, they would automatically be like calling for their head. Yeah, because they're a traitor.
And traitors that lost too. That's the important part.
You're a traitor and you lost. You got like, I don't know what the opposite of a double rainbow is, but that's what that is. You're a traitor and you lost. So like
in England, I don't think they have like statues of George Washington in England like that. Like, nah, bro. Like, like, he was a traitor to them. He might be a hero to us. Luckily, for America, I guess he won, so he gets to have his stuff over here. But over there, nah.
There's no crossing the Delaware paintings hanging up in London, Buckingham Palace.
Nah, bro.
So I just wanted to give her a shout just because I thought the story was good. I mean, once I found out her age, I was like, wow, 22. Okay, like, people always talk about young people getting involved and doing something other than just staring at their phones and stuff. And I mean, she
and the lady's about it too, because I mean, she reminds me of the young lady that climbed up and took down the Confederate flag
in South Carolina.
State building too. Like, the women are
they've been about it, man.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, who was she the one that was kicking the statue? Like, did you see that?
Yeah.
Like the video,
yeah,
she was dropping them Fifth Ward bees on him. Like it was like,
the statue did something to her. I mean, she was just like, yo, that's it. Enough is enough.
I was like, yo, you might break your foot. I was like, I mean, I get the frustration, but come on, man, don't break your foot, you know, because Trump ain't gonna give you health care to go get that stuff.
Malice, and Pusha said it best, man. Hell have no fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, please believe it.
Yeah, so man, shout to her. And just one last shout out, our last lady we want to just talk about this real quick. Janicza Bravo. She's responsible for a film called Lemon. Just reading about it, I was already excited because I understand that Nia Long is in this film. So
say no more.
Say less. So yeah, she actually has a nice feature. Okay player. Check it out. Get to know her. She has a nice little journey she's been on in terms of getting to this point. It's actually a comedy, but it's dark from what she's saying. It's called Lemon, and you know, it's going to be available for us to see soon. And those are the 4 women that we talked about today. So big shout to them. We will, of course, make a post and have some links so everybody can check out their various movements online. And
the tissue cares if don't nobody else care.
Right, I appreciate it. So before we move on, I just had to just bring this up real quick because I don't know if you brothers saw this, but DJ Khaled is on the cover of not a magazine, but a cereal box.
What?
Yes, a cereal box. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay.
Yeah, We the Best / Cinnamon Toast Crunch / General Mills.
Yo, he's not joking though.
Yeah, like coming to a cereal aisle near you. I asked people this question in the past, I guess 2 years. If you had to pick who's had a bigger come up, and the dollars don't add up because I'm going to ask you about somebody that plays basketball professionally in Khaled, but if you had to pick, man, somebody that raised their Q rating from one point to another, if I told you Steph Curry and DJ Khaled, man, from where they were to where they are now, Hank, who would you pick, man, as far as making the biggest come up in the past couple of years?
So I think it's clearly Steph Curry, but I think the fact that we can have this argument is amazing. Because I mean, Steph Curry, I have a daughter. She is 9 years old and she plays basketball. And like Steph Curry is like the guy to her generation. Like they talk about Steph. They're all for LeBron. Like Steph is really who they look up to. But Khaled, coming from where he was, I mean, he's always been around, but like he is a star now. Not only is he a star, he made his baby a star.
His baby's a star.
Like, he's great, but
hold on. He's a rap star that doesn't rap. Yo, just think about that. He is a rap star that does not rap.
He's a DJ that doesn't DJ anymore. Like I've seen Khaled live twice in the past couple years, and I mean he's doing more hyping than he is, scratching.
If you told somebody that DJ Khaled, that DJ were his first 2 initials, that would be more likely than him being an actual DJ. Not because he can't, because he just doesn't.
Yeah, no, he's nice, but yeah, he just doesn't.
He can DJ, he just doesn't. Like because he doesn't have to.
I don't think he makes beats. He really just stamps stuff and makes it a star.
Yeah. But like you said, Hank, this is the fact that you can even make that comparison. The fact that he went from holding an umbrella for Joe and the Make It Rain video to where we are now. And the thing is, he's come out with an album basically every year for the past 11 years. So it's not like he was in some cave coming up with a master plan. He just continued to just hack away.
And he's made some great music. Well, he has stamped some great music.
But the thing about him is though, like he's able to get people in a room. He's able to get people on records. Yeah. I mean, even if you just look at how Jay-Z, threw the shot at Future, and Future's kind of been kind of took it on the chin, but he's also reacting to it months later still. Mm-hmm. Like it's apparent that there wasn't a connection with them, and then the glue was Khaled.
Yeah.
Like you know.
Yeah.
So
did Khaled make Lean Back? Because don't they shout DJ Khaled?
Storch.
It was Scott Storch. Yeah, it was
Scott Storch. So it's just incredible just to see what he's up to. I don't think he's really going anywhere either. I mean, I think he's really only getting bigger. This last one was a little bit more poppy than Major Key, which was probably his best effort all from top to bottom. Like,
yeah.
He probably put it together there, but it's interesting just to see what he's up to. Phil is a person that wasn't.
Yo, I'm converted, yo. I'm like one of them. I mean, I took my Khaled Shahara, yo. I just was like, because yo, like, I used to I would be on this show if they went back and played the tapes, I'd be killing them. Yeah. And it's just like, yo, like, why is he here? But you can't fight it, man. You can. It's like Death, Taxes, and Khaled, man. You know, except you only enjoy one of those three. I mean, Khaled is he's not even whack.
Yeah. Shout out to Khaled for I'm the One, because he gave us that great remix that he's the one. Jon Snow, go check that out. YouTube, Facebook.
Yes.
Imaginary Players.
Jon Snow is definitely the one.
All right, now before we go to our next segment called Making a Name for Ourselves, one of our favorites, we actually just wanted to just get your thoughts, Hank, while we got you. We've been asking everybody recently that's been on the show how they feel about the NFL. We obviously know you're an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Eagles have one of the hardest schedules I've seen for a team that did not make the playoffs. I mean, the schedule's brutal.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
Man, I mean, it's tough. Just in the division, you've got two juggernauts with Zeke there. You got two juggernauts, and you got a rival with the Redskins. But where are you right now? We're still a few weeks away. There's Chris Long putting his hand on somebody's. He's trying to show some solidarity on your team. How do you feel about Malcolm Jenkins, Chris Long?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Chris Long. I said earlier, Chris Long, he earned an invite to the barbecue. Yeah, I mean, and to get a take-home plate. Chris Long, he's good with me. I'm honestly going back and forth. My wife is on me to like boycott the NFL, but she don't like football, so it's easier for her to say like, hey, you should just boycott everything. Like, I really do enjoy my Sunday, my football. But to be honest, the excitement for like the league this year isn't really there for me as much as it's been in the past, and I think it is my social responsibility kind of tearing at me a little bit. And what's sad is I think the Eagles actually have a pretty good team this year. I'm excited to see those weapons. I'm excited to see.
Y'all gonna slap the Niners.
I mean, we'll
Why? Like, I'm just chilling. I mean, I didn't say anything. But hold on. Let's be clear. If for some super kind of miracle we happen to win, Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you. You don't have to worry about that. No, I don't. But it's all good.
But no, I'm sorry, Hank, I cut you off. But where are you thinking about it now? Like, do you feel obligated to have certain types of conversations before you get to the football fantasy part of it?
Yeah, I think it's hard to separate them at this point now. Yeah. I mean,
very.
It is normally like my escape from the world, but it's bleeding into it, and I'm kind of like the opposite of you get the people, especially the white people who want to look and be like, oh, I don't want this, your political beliefs interfering with my game, and it's like, for me, it's like, these things have already been bought there, and now it's hard for me to ignore it. And I like to think of myself as a socially responsible person. I like to think of myself as somebody that stands up for my people. And I think Colin, we talked about this in the chat. He may even be better not being in the league and being this symbol, as opposed to coming in and sucking, and then all of a sudden everybody is saying, well, see, we told you he didn't deserve to be there. But I think he has helped move this conversation along, and I really appreciate the other players that are stepping up and doing this as well. Because he's taking the fall for a lot of things, but he's showing that, like, just because you have a job doesn't mean you aren't a person, and you're not, just because you're in the NFL doesn't mean you're no longer a black person. You need to be able to live in both of these worlds, because if somebody's not a football fan and they see one of these big black dudes in a dark alley, they're just as likely to get shot as one of us walking down the street. So
absolutely,
it's a lot.
Would you think about Hugh Jackson, Phil? For those that don't know, he said he's a Browns coach. He said he doesn't want his players to do that because he doesn't want them to protest because he feels a certain type of way about the flag and the anthem, and
See my AKA at the top of the show. That was for, because I knew we were going to talk about this. That was for them. Not like all these hand in the pocket dudes, man. They gotta go, man. Like they always get somebody that looks like us to attack us. So like Hugh Jackson was get your hand out my pocket last week, and coming in, Jason Whitlock. Like I said in the chat, it's on my bucket list. One day I'm going to smack the shit out of him, and it's gonna be the greatest thing. I'm going to get arrested. And
we got you, Bill.
I appreciate that. Go set up the GoFundMe now, because
you got your pay lawyer.
Because once these shows start popping off and we start getting invited to stuff, he might be in the vicinity. And, I can't say that I won't, yo. And I know he outweighs me. He's bigger than me. I don't, my blackness will strengthen me. Like I will have the strength of 1,000 T'Challas, and I'm going to smack the shit out of that dude. Yo, he is so bad for us as a people. Like his divisiveness is because
he knows exactly what he's doing too.
He knows exactly.
He's 100%. Like, no matter what the right answer should be for black people, he's going to say the opposite.
Yeah.
Right?
He even said it on the little clip that we saw today. He was like, I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but then he continued with the totally wrong side, and it's just.
But see, you see, the thing about it is, now I don't know if Cowherd's on vacation or what, but it's kind of like when Rockefeller was coming up, and Bleak and Beans were kind of like, Hove, you can go put your feet up. Mm-hmm. Like that's how it feels like with Cowherd. Like, he put the battery in Nick Wright's back. He got him a nationally, a national show. And then also he, essentially, man, like this guy Whitlock, man, he was on the chopping block for years. Mm-hmm. And he was at ESPN trying to get some things going a couple years ago, and they said no thank you, and then he latched on with Cowherd. But it's like this guy was the game.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the editor-in-chief for Undisputed, basically the black leg of ESPN. Can you imagine if he actually got to do what he was supposed to do there?
But shout out to the writers in the staff at Undefeated, because they said, like, they had that really. They said, well, there's no way we're going to work for this dude. Yeah, they was like, you'll have to hire all new people. They really put their foot down. They was like, and then like some of the people, like the higher ups, were like, yo, this would not be a good look for us. They looked at it from the social side, like, yo, we can't have this dude representing us and being the face of what's supposed to be technically our black division. I mean, and it would have been all bad, yo.
Yeah. They did a thing over there too, man. Shout to
they would have had the 50 greatest black athletes. It would have been like Bill Walton, Larry Bird, Darryl Waltrip, Nolan Ryan. it would have been so like, oh my God, Jeff George, and Jeff George.
Yo, the craziest thing about the anthem protest, right, to me, is I go and I watch my games at, different establishments and everything. And, I'll be sitting there next to somebody and they'll be like, oh, I can't believe that, this guy's not saying and this guy's not saying. I'm like, dude, you're sitting right next to me while the anthem is playing. Like, I've never seen an example of somebody that wasn't at the game stood up and was so patriotic that they had to, salute the flag for the anthem. But,
there's this video of people in Congress like texting while they're playing the anthem, like actually in Congress, like, so come on, man. They were trying to make an example out of boy, and that's because the military pays the NFL millions of dollars to have these pseudo patriotic flyovers and military displays. They pay for that. We pay for that because we pay taxes. So that's they like, yo, you can't be disrespected. That's how they're looking at it. Like, yo, we're paying you. We can't be disrespected.
The one thing that's come out of this for me, and it's just a small takeaway, but it's been a great litmus test, especially like if you're in the workplace and being out in a social setting. But if you're in the workplace and this subject comes up, like you can totally see like someone's intelligence level, like their IQ is on full display if they're not able to figure out that what is being done as far as a protest is not about disrespecting a flag, any flag, or the troops or the anthem, or even Francis Scott Key for that matter. Like, it's not about that. And anyone that I can't believe these guys like did. I know how intelligent you are right from that moment right there.
Yep. And I also know their level of depth in which they researched the situation, because they saw one hot take or one headline and they ran with it. Like I remember when it first happened, like when it was first made public, I should say, because it happened. He sat twice before they even he didn't have his uniform on. So you don't count unless you got your uniform on in football. So right. he sat down twice. The third game, that's the game that I was watching when we were recording this show, and I was like, oh shit, it's going. And he was sitting down, and the very next day is when everything broke, and then that was on a Friday, and then on Monday morning it was like, everybody knows I'm a 49er fan, and hey, what's up with your guy, man? What, he doesn't like the troops? All right, so I see you. Yeah, you know to never speak to me again. Okay, that's where we are, and then you kind of seen where everybody was aligned, and and you start seeing who you needed to unfriend, or all that. So it's a real good litmus test. But shout out to Cap and the African American Museum in DC, because my man's getting an exhibit, yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good. That's major.
Major.
Definitely. He made history. The fact that we're still talking about this, and he hasn't suited up, since last season, and
but two of his backups got jobs, though. I'm just saying. That Lewis was on the practice squad, yo. I couldn't even use him on Madden because he wasn't on the actual roster, yo. He would have had to be a creative player.
But anybody that listens to this show knows that we've been following this story, since it happened, and we will continue to, and we will continue to get different takes. Hank, thank you for being so honest about that. I know you're an Eagles fan. Hopefully, you guys can make the playoffs this year. What do you think?
I think we can do it.
Okay, cool.
You'll be sitting next to me. Stop playing.
All right, we're going to get into making a name for ourselves. We love to do this segment because it really shows personality and just how people are thinking about things. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start this off by just saying that Kevin Durant is currently back on Instagram. For anybody that didn't know, he is responding to people on Twitter. So if you say something that he doesn't like, he's going to call you an idiot. He's gonna have a heated exchange with you if he has enough time on his hands. So go ahead. It's at KD Trey 5. Go ahead and troll him because he's been on one. Especially this week in general. He had the Seat Pleasant. I don't know how close you are to that, but he had the parade out there in Maryland. Mm-hmm. And he's launching his media company, and he is man, he's out there. As far as just responding to people. I'm gonna start with Phil this time. So KD said that no White House for him. Don't even send me an invite. I'm not coming. I don't respect the guy that's currently holding the office there. What do you think about that? What do you think about Feisty KD, Phil? What song title you got for that?
I had a couple for this. I was originally going to go with because of the whole easy money sniper nickname. I was going to go with Buck 'em Down, but that was I didn't go with Buck 'em Down. I went with the Locks from We Are the Streets.
Okay.
Fuck you. Said we wouldn't make you, fuck you.
Yeah.
Talk with a heart full of hatred. Yo. Because he's getting at everybody, yo. Like and the thing is, this isn't like Ramon Sessions or Bradley Beal. This is a guy that currently is sitting on the top of the NBA throne right now. I don't respect him. Yes, he said they asked about the. I don't respect him.
But like this is unprecedented. Like he has so many trolls, and he's just out there getting at people. So
no, this is like Get Rich or Die Trying era 50 Cent. Yo, 50 wasn't taking no prisoners. Yo, he didn't care who you was. Yo, Jay. Yo, like this is how to rob. Yo, like he's out here. Yo, man. So the winner go to spoils unless you got a Confederate flag, then you get spoils and L's.
So Hank, I'm gonna let you go next, man. What'd you have?
I went with a classic Young Jeezy and Jay-Z. My President is Black, because I feel like that's where KD is with it right now. Like we not even respecting this new president. Like our president is still Obama. So in his mind, his president is Black. He'll probably go to Chicago, pick up a ring or something from Obama before he goes to the White House.
Yo, that would be all that if they went to Obama crib.
Matter of fact, Obama is still in DC, right? He's there to the end of the year. Yep. Yeah.
Yo, that would be all that.
That'd be Obama had a barbecue in the backyard with the Golden State Warriors. Oh my God.
I'm about to hit him on Twitter. Like, yo, you and the Dub should go to Obama house instead of the White House.
Shut up, man.
Yeah, he ain't gonna get at me. I'm on your side.
So what I picked was Certified Gangsters.
Okay.
Yes.
The Game and Jim Jones, but the reason why, because you can tell, like even Kevin Garnett, as you mentioned earlier, Paul Pierce, there's certain guys, like when they finally get that, like even Dirk to an extent, like when they get that championship, they finally get that validation. It's like, oh, can't tell me nothing. I'm certified. I'm certified. Mm-hmm. And that's just how I feel with KD. He's combining a little bit more of a gangster thing. Anybody that's watched his press conferences, especially with OKC, with Russell, they were very uncomfortable to watch. They weren't like at times you would be like, why are you even talking to these guys? And he's still kind of a curmudgeon to a different level now. He's kind of just been smirking a lot and kind of just this guy. But
hey man, you did what they did.
He put in the work
too.
Nah, he put in the work though, and I'm conflicted just because I'm such a huge Spurs fan, and there's absolutely no chance my team is going to be able to usurp them in the next few years. So it's tough. I battle with this daily.
Wow, you're already packing it in.
Honestly, I packed it in. I packed it in when they acquired him that day. It was July 4th, 2016. I packed it in just the amount of star power it was going to take, some injuries and just some different things in order to start. They just play basketball different than everybody.
But y'all had him until Young Reezy got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely would have got that one. And maybe,
they would have got that one for sure.
And the home game would have been closer, but they just play differently, man. And until guys change their mentality about the game, it's gonna be tough.
It's like both of theirs, but they're gonna keep it at KD house.
Hank, these dudes rattled off like 32 out of their last 35 games, and KD missed 18 of those. So it's just different, man. It's just a different.
Then they talk about getting Paul George. Paul George gonna be the sixth man. Like, come on, man.
That was
this is insane, yo. Like,
so Bike Life Meek, you know, he's someone wins and losses in stores now. He's someone that people have a lot to say about. But he finally made it to Jimmy Fallon. He made it to late night, you know. So I was expecting that to happen recently, but hours after that performance, he he shoots a video and he posts it as he always does with his stuff, and he eventually gets arrested for it. Phil, what you think about that, and what song title did you have for it?
Like just when things were starting to go good, just when you were starting to get your wins, you might win some, but you just lost one. and that was my song. You might win some, but you just lost one. Cause like it was just, even though if that was a normal person, if he wasn't who he is, you know, you can go there with a public defender and be out, pay your fine and go about your day. But because of his history, because he raps about the things that he raps about, they're gonna try to make an example out of him. I just hope they don't go extra hard. And
now they did say it was a part of a video for something that he's doing with ASAP Ferg, so there may be a chance for it to just be a little bit cooler than if he was just out there stunting. But it's like only him can he can go from something that's the pinnacle of late night TV to getting arrested for that.
But we've followed Meek's career, pretty much since this show started.
Yeah.
What about Meek says they had a permit? Come on. I mean, even if it was part of the video, I'm gonna say it was a part of the video, but come on. And you in NYC. I'm just glad the worst thing that they could say was, that he was on the bike wilding and it wasn't nothing else, because if he had anything else, it was going to be a Lil Wayne, Plexico Burris.
And Hank said that. I thought that was one of the better things I saw today in the chat. Would you call it the rappers?
Yeah, that's the rapper cocktail, man. It's the rapper classic, man. They just knew when they pulled him over.
Cocktail.
They was gonna find a pistol and some weed, man. They just knew that was gonna be in that car.
Yeah.
A loaded pistol and some weed.
Yeah.
Just enough to give him 2 years, man. And
what you have for a song title?
You know what I had? I had Aston Martin music, because that was probably the last time we'll see a Drake and Rick Ross collabo because of Meek Mill. And I've always liked when Drake and Meek get together on a song, because it brings out that rapper Drake, like Drake that is really trying to like go bar for bar with Rick Ross. And then it kind of relates because like Meek, dog, just lay back, get you a little Aston Martin. I know you like to talk about your raves, just drive a car, man. If you were just in a car, if you were in a car instead of being on a dirt bike in the middle of NYC, none of this would happen right now. Like Phil was saying, like he was doing so well. He's really building his brand back up, and then you just do dumb stuff again. And I don't know. Is he even out yet? Do we know if he got bail?
So he's out. Okay. They're trying to handle it. They're trying to show some paperwork to to actually say that maybe it was permitted, or that they tried to at least. So
man, O'Malley drew that up himself.
He tried to get back in the good graces. That's how he was writing. He was like,
so again, Meek, he's someone that we respect on this show. Even when he was going through his trials and tribulations, we still were championing in his movement. On the Regular was a joint that was on DC4. That was actually one of my favorite records on there, and that's what I chose for this, because he's always on the regular, getting pulled over on the regular, getting violated for his PO on the regular, going back to jail on the regular. But the one thing that I can say that he's done, and Hank, you just mentioned, as far as building his brand back up, he has really started a conversation about what a win and what a loss is, and what it means to be somebody from the city of Philadelphia, and be from where he's from specifically, and be at the position that he's at, where his mom lives a certain place, his kid goes to a certain school. his homies live a certain lifestyle. His homies' family live a certain lifestyle. That's winning. And for people to say that, you know, he has these different losses, yes, they definitely are, but I don't think they stack up to the wins that he's having.
Yo,
I think
he got a great line on wins and losses. I think it's like they say I just got 40 M's. They calling me a L. Like, like really, we talking about him taking a loss on the internet. Yeah, but he was really, you know, getting his money, you know, and he came back with good music. That was what was important.
Yeah.
And really, that's all he had to do during the battle. I think we were expecting him to come harder, and just because Drake was so quick and the world is so quick now, you know, Drake was able to boom hit him with that 2-piece, and people thought Meek was out for the count, but Meek has always made strong music. And he can continue to do that.
Even in the middle of their beef or whatever, he still had a #1 album, came out the gate, 250,000 copies. He won a Billboard award. He
the baddest chick in the game.
Yeah. He tossed Nicki all through the city. I mean, there's a lot. Yo, and it's funny, man. A lot of the people that's saying he got L's, you know, living in a mama basement, you know, eating peanut butter out the jar. like yo, got stonewashed jeans on. Like come on, man. You are not the person to be in his timeline talking about he took an L. Like, come on, dog.
So yelled at for not taking the chicken out the freezer. Like, come on, man.
You know I don't like microwaving it. You know I don't like microwaving it.
Yeah, all day long, couldn't do one thing.
You had one job, right?
We got one more. Dave Chappelle is doing something I've never even heard of this before. Like there's like softball teams that don't play at their home venue as long as he's been at Radio City Music Hall. He has a 16-date engagement there where he's just running off just night after night after night. He had Kendrick open up for him. Kendrick did a full set. It wasn't just like a performance. He did gave him an hour of just straight Kung Fu Kenny. The other night, Chance the Rapper, you know, opened up for him. I think last night, and
Solange. Ice Cube, Wayne, Erykah Badu, Common, like pretty much anybody he's
Yasin Bey is even performing. He's someone that couldn't care less.
He dug up Mos Def. He was like Tomb Raider. He got his Laura
He smuggled him back into the country just so he could just perform.
he had him in a crate, like under some coffee grounds.
But minute crab, man.
One of the most eye-opening things about this whole run is the fact that he finally met Dylon. Like, yo, like it's funny because watching those reruns of Chappelle's show, that's actually something that came across my mind. I was like, yeah, I wonder if he ever met this dude. I wonder if they ever connected. And they recently this week they actually met for the first time, and they took some flicks and just chopped it up. I just thought that was just ill because as far as skits go, at least in the Black community, there's Rick James, there's Prince, and then that Making the Band one was probably one of the most revered, most loved ones.
The Wayne Brady.
Wayne Brady was classic. Harold Bigums,
But you can't ask someone their top 5 without them making that joke first.
Yeah.
Like, so that's just incredible right there. So Hank, I'll start with you, man. What did you have for a song title for this topic?
So I kind of took the easy way out on this. I went Bad Boy this, Bad Boy that. Yeah. Bad Boy beat you down with a baseball bat. But the crazy thing about this, like in retrospect, we look at it and the skit is the classic thing. But Diddy and the band, they were ahead of their time with the way that they were able to build with the personalities of their people to make you care about this group. I mean, they essentially use reality TV the way that nowadays our favorite artists will use Instagram or Twitter, you know, so that you see their personality, so that you actually feel connected to them. Like, dude, I went to go see the band perform. Like, I remember as a freshman in college to go see them perform at some crazy club in DC. I bought their album. Like, I watched all the episodes. Like, I could probably rap most of that album still to this day. And that was all because, like, I felt a connection to them. Like, I mean, maybe because they had the one Philly Ball, they had, you know, people that I could relate to as well. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that they really were able to build that connection, and that's what made the skit great. It was because we already knew these people that he was doing the parody of, and then he was able to just, you know, turn them up a notch. But that was a great series. I've tried to find like a high quality like copy of those, like an HD, because I would love to be able to watch that whole entire series again just to see like if it's as good as I remember it. You said what?
Well, you talking about making a band?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Band.
I think you was talking about Chappelle.
No, not Chappelle. Yeah, I know. I got the Chappelle skit. Yeah. I'm talking about the band. Like, I want to see.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah. One of the things interesting about that too. I'll get to that in my point. I'll just go ahead and say I picked Comedy Central, which is
the clip,
the clips in Fab. But one of the things that you mentioned is very interesting too. Like that whole, like, it doesn't even matter what the bars are as long as we like you or we're intrigued by your story. That definitely, they were pioneers of that. Just seeing that behind the scenes footage and just seeing like all the rumbles, like like you know, like certain people didn't get along, but you know, at the end of the day, when it came to presenting the music, or you know, when it comes to groups, and that's where we are now. We really don't have groups like that. Where Slaughterhouse, you know, we were talking about Black Hippie, you know, unofficially being a group, but them not coming out, Slaughterhouse disbanding, and you know, just the test of time kind of getting to some of the older groups, but yeah, it's you know, last of a dying breed type of thing.
Yeah, especially like peers, where like everybody is the same. Where everybody like is starting at the same level. Because like we'll have crews where you got, you know, a Young Money, or you'll have, you know, I would consider Black Hippie more like a crew, and Kendrick is by far the big star of the crew.
Yeah,
but but like a group like that, no, we don't have that.
No. Phil, what do you think? What'd you have?
It was a lot of ways to go, but I went with KRS, the Rapture, Step Into the World, simply because of one line. I'm not saying I'm number one. Nope, I'm sorry I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Die line, and die line.
That's classic, man.
Yo, that's what it's
hot fire.
That's hot fire, yo. Respect the holders, yo. Dylan might have been the original.
He had the dots on the face for his freckles. Like, oh man.
Like, I still remember, like, he sent them to go get Cambodian breast milk, 2 sugar cookies. Yo, like,
yo, to this day, yo, anytime I get something new, like if I'm eating something like yo, I just had that fresh Cambodian.
Oh man.
No, when he had Big Man bringing him in, he was on his back. Yo,
I'm shutting the studio down.
Oh,
another one too. Definitely, That's What's Hot in the Streets. You just,
do your taxes. That's what you're gonna do your taxes next.
Yeah.
Shout out to E Ness from the mighty CHS.
Yeah. So we definitely touched on a lot of topics. Obviously, there's a little bit of an elephant in the room. I don't think we're gonna spend too much time on that. I actually want to talk about the cool parts of what happened last week, at least. You know, definitely sending thoughts and prayers out to everyone that was affected, and you know, people that were injured, and even you know, just lost their lives out there. But President Obama, you know, as if he hasn't done enough, or former president, as if he hasn't done enough already.
Oh, you said it right the first time. You said
like Kane said, our president is black. but he has the most liked tweet ever. I mean, I mean, he did numbers on Twitter that like they weren't even familiar with. Like, didn't even know that someone's like message could be liked that much. Like
they didn't have a metric for it.
Yeah, it's like over like 4 million right now, like approaching 5 million likes on his, you know, the picture of him holding his hand out and reaching out to young children. And then also just, you know, just stating that he said no one is born hating another person because of the skin of his color or his background or religion. And, you know, anybody that's been around kids, we were kids once. It's nature over nurture. You know, a lot of times, you know, it's just what were you taught and what do you have in you innately, and hate just isn't something that comes out, you know, especially when it comes to that thing. I think you could probably come out hating like insects. Like my son is 10 months and he hates for people to touch his face and clean his nose. He hates that. But, you know, when it comes to people, that's just not how we operate. Yeah. Hank, what do you think about that? And just Obama's impact still, like you said, my president is black. Obviously, people still feel that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's just, he's such the polar opposite of, you know, what we have right now. And I think, you know, people are missing it. They want that old thing back. You know what I'm saying? Like, like he really is. He was an exceptional man. Like, just think of all the scandals that have popped up with Trump in his first, what, 7 months?
6 months, 7 months, yeah.
Yeah, you know, they were searching for all these things with the first black president. Like that's 100%. They were trying to find anything, and for him to get through this in the social media age, and not have any dirt on him, is a testament to, you know, really the way that he carried himself and the role model that he is. And it's just amazing that of all the celebrities and Justin Biebers of the world and people that have been on Twitter and, you know, constantly do it, for him to just, you know, put up one image and it'd be the most liked thing ever. Like, dude is phenomenal.
And he wasn't trying to. That's the thing too.
Yeah.
He wasn't pandering to any. Like, I think that was just really just a genuine, man, look at this picture, look at these kids, and look at the hope that we could possibly have if everybody would just stop being so idiotic. Phil, what'd you think about the tweet, and then also just the numbers it put up?
You know, first of all, the tweet, it just goes to show you that that dude was built for the position that he had. Being the president, he was built. He knew exactly the right thing to do in the moment. Like the orange boy. He's not built for this. He has the job almost by default. But President Obama, he knew what the country needed. Even the people that hate him, he knew what, as a whole, what the country needed, and he gave it to him in a very simple thing. And it just goes to show you the fact that 5 million plus people and counting, you know, liked it, retweeted it, you know, made comments on it. It just goes to show you that he's still as popular as ever. He might even be more popular now, because I start seeing all these other kind of memes. It was one in particular was hilarious. It was like, it said Obama, he was like, hey, I'm back home, and it was America, and then they showed like an apartment. It was like, it looked like the opening scene of The Hangover. and it was like, yo, and he's just looking like, yo, I didn't, that's not how I left it. But you know, it just goes to show you that like Hank said, man, you know, people always think the grass is greener, you know, like they were so in the need of, they had to get a black dude out of the office that they voted against their interests, you know, and you know, white dudes could not possibly, and some black dudes could not have a woman as the president. So that was just like, you know, she's wearing pants. Like, how could that be? You know, it's like, so they voted for Orange Boy, and you know, we got what we got.
What do you think about athletes? And just really briefly, like, what do you guys think about you know, somebody like LeBron, for example, when he says so-called president? What do you think about that? But what do you think people think when they hear that and they tell him to stick to basketball? Like what words of advice would you have for someone that said that to LeBron? Hey, just stick to basketball. Like what? So
I would tell them like, hey man, stick to busting tables. Like right. Who are you to comment to him? But I'm glad we're in that generation now. Like, cause we went through the, Michael Jordan era where, hey, Republicans buy shoes too, to Charles Barkley, I'm not a role model. So I'm glad to see these guys are willing to, speak up and they're not afraid of, tarnishing their brand or losing a couple of sales. They're like, look, if this is wrong, I'm gonna say it's wrong. If it's right, I'm gonna say it's right. And that's me. I appreciate that.
See, I love y'all because y'all know exactly what to say and be, PC. Because I would say I don't come to your job and kick dicks out of your mouth. So you don't worry about what that man's job is. He voted just like you. He's an American just like you. He has every right to share his opinion. You don't have to agree with it. That's not, I don't agree with your existence, but who am I to judge? So we just will. You have your opinion. Let LeBron have his, and that goes back to the whole Jason Whitlock thing. He was talking about athletes. He started his whole statement about saying about an athlete having an opinion, only to turn around and say athletes shouldn't have opinions. So it's just like, just because you're good at a sport doesn't mean that's all you're good at. That's not the only. I mean, we know there are some who they only know their sport, but even them, they have their right to their opinions. Again, it's up to us. One, if we choose to listen, and then if we don't have to agree. But yeah, they have every right to say that.
From a freedom of speech standpoint, Hank, DB Weiss and David Benioff of the guys behind Game of Thrones coming to TV and adapting everything that George R. Martin put together in those books years ago. They're catching a lot of flack, and I don't even think people care or know what their next show is going to be about or anything. But all they heard was the word Confederate, and just knowing these guys
modern day.
But just these guys' track record in terms of putting out things that are very extensive and just very compelling. I think people just didn't even want to know about it. They don't even want for it to get off the cutting room floor. What do you think about people already just condemning it without even knowing what it is? And would you watch it?
I don't know. I would probably be all about it if I knew black people were in the room or there was a black producer. But it's such a dangerous area to go in. We're talking about whether or not the whole premise behind the show was that, the South won the Civil War, slavery's still going on. And that has to be handled with care. Like, it can't be the Game of Thrones, people getting killed. Like, I don't want to see black people getting, lynched.
That's gonna be the opening scene, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because they, first of all, they got HBO, so they don't really have any kind of real. I mean, there's some filter, but they can do a lot more than they can if they was on, network TV.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we know we have these idiots, right now that think like, hey man, this would be great if, this was actually real. We would all be in a better place if we just kept these black people as slaves.
That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
It could be an irresponsible show. It could also turn out to be something good, but I think that line is so thin. And if you don't have the right amount of black people around to make sure that it's done correctly, it could go bad. It's like that ESPN skit.
Exactly.
The major thing when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, there's no way there was a black person that had a voice in this writer's room, because I spotted that a mile away. Like, no, man, you can't sit there and have nothing but white people bidding on a black person and dude, the auctioneers dressed up like an old slave master and everything. The visuals were horrible.
That was terrible.
And it's fresh off of Get Out, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, oh.
Yep, exactly. And I know they meant no harm by that. You know, a lot of leagues have an auction, but yeah, but yeah, it was bad. It was bad, and that was another thing that made me look like, oh man, do I got to give up fantasy football? Like, it really made me feel bad. And I think that this show could have that sort of thing if you don't have the right people to make sure the tone is correct.
Yo,
like the black people got to win at the end. Like, it can't be.
Yo, I was just about to say that. yo, all right. So the slope is like Mary Kate and Ashley thin. Yo, it's like it's such a thin line because, like, to your point, the only way that this can work is if you have a situation where they have the scenario where the South won and there's actual legal slavery, but the whole show is about a rebellion that's about to happen, and the black people have to win. That's the only way that this can work. But here's the problem, because you also brought up another great point. People that are already feeling emboldened by the president in his words or lack of words or in his actions and things of that nature. So this rally that happened in Charlottesville it might have still happened. It wouldn't have happened like this while President Obama. They just didn't. It was like literally like, you know, like a call to arms. And David Duke even said it. He was like, we're fulfilling the promise that President Trump, you know. So I think people will see this show, and you can't have a show of this nature without some black people catching L's. It's just I mean, just from the premise of the show, black people are going to catch L's. Some people will get ideas. I think about I can't, it escapes me now. What was the joint with Latimer? The football movie with Latimer, Omar Epps was in it.
Oh, not The Program.
Yeah, The Program. The Program. Remember, there was a scene in there where the kids were playing chicken and they were laying out in the street and the cars were coming, and then some kids saw the movie and was like, yeah, let's try that. And they got ran the fuck over, as most people, because there's movie magic in the program. You know, you're not gonna, you know, dodge a Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
So, but this is that, but on a much more serious level. I mean, you know, loss of life is always serious, but when you're talking about, you know, giving, you know, people who already don't like people of color, giving them ideas and giving them the idea of that this is okay and this is the way that it should be, which is how, you know, based on from what I heard about the show, if it is in fact that the South won the Civil War, they're going to get that idea. And we already have a problem with kids, you know, threatening actors, you know, by the roles they play, you know, giving them death threats. So
shout to Tasha from Insecure.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, people were threatening you know, people on power, and you know, it's just ridiculous. So because they're blurring the lines with reality stars, you know, they you know, you can add a reality star and it really be them based on what they did on TV, even though that shit is fake too. But you know, so now you're going to take people who already have blurred lines of what's real and what's fake. You know, they're emboldened by what the president is saying and doing, and for whatever reason they feel disenfranchised. That is a toxic mix.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say,
but the writing would be fire though.
Yeah. I just hope it doesn't happen, man. These guys have a great track record. They put together something great as far as the franchise that they've adapted for TV. The Roberts Rebellion, possible
that would be
spin-off series. Let's do that. You know,
there's a lot of stories you can tell with Game of Thrones, a lot of prequels you can do.
Let's do that.
Please, let's do that. Yeah.
So as we head towards the end of the show, again, of course, we just want to just thank Hank for hanging out with us.
Yeah, man, it's been great.
Before we go though, man, we just gotta just ask you, man, what are you listening to right now?
444 still in the rotation for me. Wins and Losses is in the rotation. I try to stay young, so I keep my my It's Lit playlist when I'm doing my workout. So with that, singles, everybody is loving Bodak Yellow.
Yeah,
you gotta appreciate Cardi B and her hustle.
Yeah. I love her.
Every Day We Lit, that gets me hype in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's the rotation right now. But yeah, 444. Just watched the Jay-Z part 1 interview on Tidal. Jay-Z, he keeping my Tidal money, man.
He's doing it, man.
Oh yeah.
He piecing it out to keep my Tidal money. So
yeah, once a week. It's like on Fridays now. It's like Good Friday for him.
Yeah.
Phil, what you listening to?
I just peeped the Davies joint. It's pretty solid. I didn't give it the full listen. I gotta sit with it for a little bit and listen to it a couple times, to give it the full review. On my initial listen though, I enjoyed it, so I definitely will be revisiting it. Okay. It wasn't one of them situations where I gotta metaphorically take the tape out and crush it, Cleo style. So no, it was cool. Listen to Fred, the Godson, his joint. You already know all 8 million bars.
Yeah.
He built a prison industrial complex on that joint. I mean, so definitely listen to that. And then I'm still 444 still in the rotation, but I took it back, man. I was listening to AT-Aliens this morning, man. It just felt like being a dope boy in a Cadillac, man, for a little bit. So it was dope to hear that, but and I'm building a nice little playlist. I got a treat I'm gonna drop on the group probably later on tonight or tomorrow. Good, cool little playlist from Tidal. Because my playlist is better than some of the joints that they put up there. I'm just putting that out there. Shout out to you, Elliot Wilson, Uncle L.
So I had to get back into Damn. What I like to do, of course, is listen to an album, give it the full listen, like Phil said, and then eventually, just revisit it and see if, once the hype wears off, and just see, how I feel about it. And it's still there. Like, there's still definitely the standout tracks that are still the standouts. And went back and listened to some of the tracks I didn't like at first, maybe off the initial listen. And I actually like it. I think it is competing for best project of the year. It's up there. With Bar Exam and 444, I think those are the 3 stellar things that have come out this year. The Wins and Losses got back into that, and I'm looking forward to.
I like Wins and Losses.
Yeah, I like that. It's definitely gym music. You definitely gotta listen to it. We are being active. Don't try to read a book or
Boys and rapes.
Yeah,
nobody's safe.
But looking forward to the Dave East, and we're actually gonna premiere some new music at the end of this episode. So everybody check that out. Hank, how can people check out all the things that you've done and just your Game of Thrones tweets? For the upcoming shows.
For sure. Definitely follow me on Twitter at Billy Beige. I tweet every once in a while. You can follow me on Instagram again at Billy Beige. Look at YouTube, Imaginary Players, and then pretty active within the WRS Game of Thrones group, the Game Time group.
Man, that's like been one of the best things of this whole year, man. Just being able to interact on there. I love it, man.
Exactly. Shout out to all the brothers in there. And then also
it's like a safe space.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think everybody's not invited, but if y'all wanted to select few, be able to join us in there. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'm all over the place, and
we're looking forward to Brothers of the Watch.
Yeah, Brothers of the Watch. Brothers of the Watch.
Yo, I need to know, man. How did we get the name Billy Beige? Yo, where did Billy Beige come from?
Really, that was a friend of mine. He just kind of threw it at me one day, and the full name was Billy Beige. And then we just dropped it to Billy Beige. He was like, "Oh, you're a rapper. You know, we're gonna call you Billy Beige Skin as your rap name." And then we dropped it to Billy Beige, man. So shout out to my man Nick. He gave me that back in the day.
No, I mean that's what nicknames are supposed to be, man. You can't be going around giving yourself your own nickname.
No, absolutely not.
I'm looking at you, Swaggy P.
I'm looking at you, the servant, the waiter.
I'm looking at you, the Black Mamba.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can get all kinds of hate mail from my listeners, man. It's a lot of Kobe love
Mamba Hive
on the tissue. Yeah, it's Mamba Hive. Yo, your page might have like they might send some snakes to your crib, yo.
All right, Phil. Before we go, I got one more question. Do you watch Insecure?
You know I watch Insecure.
No, Hank.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I am not up to date on this season. I watched last season, but
okay. Are you pro Issa or pro Lawrence?
I'm pro Lawrence, man.
Yeah. You know is there any dude that's not?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you be?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you watch this season, though, there's actually a pretty good podcast. I said that to give a shout out to Corey Towns. Man, he's definitely a Renaissance man out there, son of Jazzy Jeff. But he has a podcast that he's put out in the past few weeks for Cash's Life called Mensecure. And him and Mouse Jones, that's his partner on there. I've really enjoyed that one. Always want to give a shout out to anybody that's out there doing that thing with the podcast and everything. You know?
Everybody eats big.
Yeah. Shout to them. And Filmatic, take us out with the fader.
Okay, gang. Yo, definitely want to give a shout out to my brother from the watch, Big Bang Hank, aka Billy Beige. I mean, be on the lookout for Rollies and Wraiths coming soon. Oh no, for real, man. Hey, there is so much wild shit going on out here, man. Just everybody, be safe, be smart. You know, don't try to stay in your lane.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody just try to, I don't know, man. Be
Spread
safe.
Love.
Yeah.
It's the Brooklyn way.
Yeah. And I don't got too much more than that, but that's a perfect way to end it. You know, spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. And work for the money, live for the love, die for what you believe in. This is Tissue and the Tape. Everything is hip hop. Respect, he holders. That's where we put the rest of our other shit in there.
So how long does it take y'all to add in all the the music and stuff?